What buddy carried you when you couldn't go on? I learned the answer on a blazing Saturday at Fort Jackson in South Carolina, USA. We were 9 miles into a 12-mile ruck, packs biting our shoulders, salt drying on our sleeves like chalk. My right knee had been whispering for a week, and that morning it started yelling. Past the Tank Hill sign, my leg gave out, and I ate dirt. The drill sergeant shouted to move. The road shimmered like a hot pan. Quitting sounded easy and shameful at the same time, like dropping a tray in the dining hall and pretending it was on purpose. Lopez slid beside me before I could think. He was the quiet kid from El Paso who laced his boots perfectly and called people sir by accident. In one smooth move, he took my ruck, clipped it to his with a spare carabiner, and said, "Get up." Now he was hauling close to 90 pounds. He did not give me room to argue. He pressed a warm bottle of blue electrolyte into my hand, dropped a salt tab into my palm, and pushed a stick of gum at me like it was medicine. We started walking, heel to toe, count to 10. Again, he pointed at the pine tree, at a hawk circling, at a church steeple far off, anything to pull my eyes off the pain. When my knee fired, he moved to the outside so I could lean into him on the turn. He cracked dumb jokes. "If you pass out, I get your dessert at chow." He carried on talking so I could save my breath. He taped a hot spot on my heel with athletic tape he kept wrapped around his canteen. Every time I said, "I am slowing you down," he said, "No, you are helping me pace." At mile 11, the sky went gray and wind kicked dust across the road. The platoon stretched into thin line. We were close enough to hear range traffic and close enough to smell burgers from the dining hall, which felt rude. My knee stopped arguing and just burned. Lopez looked at me and said, "Last hill." We hit the sign together. We counted steps like kids. 20, 10, 5. We touched the green finish sign at the same time. For a second, my brain made fireworks. Then the world came back loud with boots on gravel and someone laughing like we had just won a game show. We dumped our rucks on the gravel. Lopez laughed like he had been carrying a pillow. I tried to say thank you, and it came out as a cough. He tapped my shoulder and said, "You would do it for me." Weeks later, during a smoky night live fire, he froze hard, and I was the one who grabbed his vest and talked him through one breath in and one breath out until we moved again. We still joke about who carried who, but the truth is simple. In the U.S. Army, you carry each other, not just packs, bills, bad news, homesickness, the heavy stuff no one sees. On graduation day, his mom hugged me like a second son and pressed a small rosary into my hand. Lopez said, "Keep it for your knee." I keep it in my top drawer, right next to the tape. When life starts yelling again, I touch it and hear his voice counting steps, and it is enough to get up.